World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi says she plans to push for a 0% consumption tax on food by summer. Speaking after her Liberal Democratic Party's landslide victory in the lower house elections, GG Press reports Takaichi said she is working to implement a 2-year tax exemption on food as soon as possible. She also called on opposition parties to join a proposed National Council on Social Security Reform. With the LDP securing a 2/3 majority in the lower house, Takaichi said she is ready to pursue amendments to Japan's constitution and aims to create conditions for a national referendum soon. She also expressed openness to including members of other parties such as the Japan Innovation Party and possibly the Democratic Party for the People in her cabinet or ruling coalition. On the LDP's past slush fund scandal, Takaichi said the party's election win does not mean the public has forgiven them, but added that those involved should continue working hard. In other news overseas, ahead of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington this week, Israel has approved new measures to tighten its control over the occupied West Bank. CNN reports Israel's security cabinet signed off on steps that expand enforcement powers and allow the state to buy land for settlement expansion. Far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said the moves would significantly change the legal and civil situation in the territory. The measures include expanding Israeli enforcement in areas A and B, which were previously under Palestinian administrative control and make up about 40% of the West Bank. Israel will also restart a committee that allows the government to purchase land for settlements. In Hebron, new rules will give Jewish settlers more building and municipal authority without needing approval from the Palestinian city government. And finally, French President Emmanuel Macron is calling on Europe to step up and act like a global power. In an interview ahead of this week's European Union summit in Brussels, the BBC reports Macron said Europe is facing a wake-up call amid rising challenges from China, Russia, and the United States. He urged EU members to strengthen cooperation in the economy, defense, security, and democracy. Macron also renewed his call for shared European debt or Eurobonds to raise hundreds of billions of euros for major investments in industries, clean energy, artificial intelligence, and defense. Macron admitted that France has struggled with economic reforms compared to some northern European countries, but said global investors are increasingly looking for alternatives to the US dollar and are interested in stronger European financial tools. He said the 27-member EU needs around 1.2 trillion euros annually to invest in key sectors and protect its industries. While he stopped short of calling for protectionism, Macron stressed the need for fair and consistent rules for European producers. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.